NLX. I'm Bruce Porter. I'm here with Dan Dorney from Elevated Payments. This is the Extra Mile podcast that you're going to be listening to. And today, Dan Dorney is going to talk to us about payment gateways and payments and whatever else you got on your mind.
All kinds of processing fun.
Dan, take it away. Why don't you tell everybody exactly it is what you do?
Sure, Bruce. Thanks for having me. Elevated Payments. We do credit card processing, payment solutions. So we help merchants navigate through what can be a confusing process. I don't want to use that word too much.
It is a process, though.
It is a process. A process of processing.
Right.
So what our goal is to simplify that for any business, So we want to reduce their rates, to reduce their costs. We have up-to-date, top-of-the-line PCI compliance, which everyone needs, should have. It's the security of transferring credit card information. And we also have, the best equipment available, both online and physical terminals.
Okay.
So we cover, if you're any company, any type of company in any industry, and you're taking payments other than cash, we're the ones that you want to talk to.
Okay.
So everything from physical terminals at a retail store, we supply those. As you mentioned before, especially with COVID hitting real hard 2 years ago, a lot of people went e-commerce.
Correct.
And it's not just checking out what you have online, then calling the store and telling them that's what you want and pick it up. They needed gateways, payment gateways on their website. So people are able to, if you think of it, it's the shopping cart that you see.
Correct.
On any website if you're ordering something,
Okay.
Moto,
Right.
So we created the gateways. So if they're selling a product, you can order from there. It goes to their store system and they're shipping it out.
So, okay, I'm in the digital marketing space, and when I set someone up with an e-commerce shopping cart,
Right.
I usually have to connect their authorized.net or Stripe, whichever the payment gateway. Expand on that a little bit so that the audience knows exactly, what that means or what that does.
As far as that goes, we are replacing the Stripe. So when you have the authorizing bank and whatever financial institute they're using to receive that money, we're the ones that are getting it from point A to point B. So we authorize it, we process it, we get it into the merchant's account.
Okay, but
Right.
You're not a bank.
We're not a bank.
Right.
We're a processor.
Correct. Okay, so you just make the connection. You make the connection to their bank.
Right.
Okay.
We securely get it from the person who's ordering to the person who's selling.
Terrific. That's
Right.
okay. That's where I was going. Okay, that's great. What about these pop-up stores I see? Like in the mall. They have those kiosks.
Yeah.
Do you have equipment? Do you have equipment for those type of individuals, or maybe food trucks? Do you know what I'm saying? I just recently went to a food truck festival, and they took cash only because they didn't take credit cards right there at the food truck.
Because they're getting hit with the fees.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's how it was. Some of these better known companies, whether it's a four-leaf shamrock or a four-sided shape,
Right.
They grab onto these new companies, whether they have the advertisement, whether they have the Google search result at the top, and someone like a food truck owner might not know of the different options they have. They might be referred to it or given that capability to them through a business loan. I've heard that a lot. Oh, I just have it processed through, it's part of my business loan.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So they all started going to cash because it wasn't, they were getting dinged, 5-6% on selling, funnel cake, Italian hot dogs?
Well, that's the whole, I understand that. But the thing is, where I was, last weekend, I saw a family there and they didn't have enough cash on. They would have bought more.
Right.
And had the person accepted credit cards, okay, or debit cards, whatever it is that you accept, and I'm sure you accept them all, okay, they would have bought a lot more food from the food vendor, okay?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Because a lot of times, and I've done it, I took my daughter to a festival and the guy was cash only. Not only did I have to go find an ATM in the middle of uncut grass, but it was, what, $3.50 surcharge to take out $20-$30.
Right.
So in the recent changes, and when I say recent, probably about a year, what the processors and what we've really kind of pushed, and it's especially for someone like a food truck, a kiosk, maybe a deli. One, we'll offer lower rates.
Okay.
Some of them like to maybe pay the rates. A lot of these businesses are kept open because of their customers during COVID, so they wouldn't want to turn and maybe pass those fees on to their customers.
Okay.
So when I say that, I'll mention our Pass the Fee program. So a lot of companies will post it as maybe a cash discount program. So if you pay cash, it's X amount plus a percentage of the if you pay cash, it's X amount. If you're going to use your credit or debit, it's the same amount, but the merchant's going to pass the small percentage fee onto the customer.
Gotcha.
So it kind of promotes cash payments, but if people are going to buy for a family of 5, family of 6, and it might be 40, 50 cents extra, at least we'll just use the food truck for now, is getting his product out. The people are getting as much as they want. And, from both standpoints, the customer's able to get what he wants, doesn't have to deal with running around trying to find cash or carrying it on him all the time. On the other side, the merchant's able to sell out, and he's not losing money on credit card fees by selling as much as he's doing.
Gotcha.
You see a lot of places that'll say $10 minimum to use a debit card, and you start picking out Tic Tacs and a People magazine because you want to hit that minimum, because they might be getting hit so hard by processing fees, it's not worth it to them to sell
I got you.
a Snapple.
Right.
Why sell $2 Snapple if I'm getting dinged so hard?
Well, that's a lot of delis and little tiny bodegas. They have a minimum on credit cards of I've seen that a lot at $10 minimum. Because those probably are the establishments that aren't passing the charge along to their customers.
No.
So they're making them pay a minimum of $10 so they can absorb the cost.
They got to they have to make something, and it's getting more popular because what isn't going up these days? A local pizzeria where I go to, they didn't have eggplant parm for 2 months just because eggplants were out.
Right. No,
I don't know what's going on in that eggplant industry, but they were hurting, I guess.
But the bottom line is, we're in a world where you have to provide a good user experience, and the user experience is providing your clients with the ability to pay with any means that they want to pay with, okay?
Right.
And if you don't do that, you're limiting yourself and you're limiting the revenue that you can bring in your door, okay?
Right.
And I think business owners, for the most part, even small business owners, because large business owners already have this figured out, okay? When you go online and you buy on Amazon, you have Amazon Prime, you have all of these other things, and you get points back, and you accrue this and you accrue that. But they have deep pockets. These small business owners don't have deep pockets.
Correct.
So they struggle with this, okay?
Right.
But by the same token, I think that they need someone like you to educate them on why it's important to have not only the equipment internally, because, so many times I've been in a deli where the credit card machine's not working. Right. It's down.
Yeah. That's how I get in front of most owners if I see one of their employees banging it against the desk because it won't connect.
Oh, I'm sure that helps.
And you got a problem there. He goes, this thing never works. There's my in.
Yeah. No. Okay. So that's a great look. That's a great point for you to tell everybody. If someone is struggling, in business and needs to accept credit cards, I think they should reach out to you.
Absolutely.
I think if someone is having problems with their existing equipment, they should reach out to you, okay? And have you take a look at their equipment and provide a quote, and I'm sure your quotes are complimentary, right? To look at their
Absolutely. I would even say, even if you're just looking across your books, especially small business owners, they're busy.
Right.
They're doing the business. I always talk with landscapers or masons. They're landscapers or masons because they're really good at landscaping or masonry. So they don't have a stack of employees doing what they're great at. So if they don't have maybe a spouse or if hiring someone to keep an eye on their books and see where the rates are going, that's why I try and talk to anybody who either has a name on their truck or behind a counter, because it just takes, Elevated Payments, myself and my amazing team, it takes us just looking at 1 month statement and audit the statement, analyze the statement, and come back. We give you two options. Our lower rates, which I'll guarantee we'll find you lower rates. We negotiate with the banks. Or the cash discount program.
Gotcha.
Now, that doesn't work for everybody. And you were mentioning before with people using cards and points, you talk to a dealership, they might have, firms or partnerships that want to lease a car for the top earner in the firm. They're getting miles on their Amex or their business cards. And we have B2B rates on top of our normal civilian rates, I guess. So in a nutshell, I can tell what you need by looking at a month of a statement.
Terrific. Well, Dan, I can't thank you enough for this clarification. I think you have educated the audience, on the importance of accepting credit cards into their small to mid-sized business or even their online business.
I hope so.
So, Dan, how can people get in touch with you? Why don't you tell everybody how they can get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me. What do you want? My email and everything?
Elevated
Home
Payments.
address.
Go ahead.
Elevatedpayments.io. We are a .io. Dan at Elevated Payments. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. You'll see more podcasts like this from NLX. I'll give you my phone number if you want. I'm on LinkedIn. Dan Dorney on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So you can find me.
Well, Dan, thank you very much. And again,
appreciate it.
We're thankful. The audience, this is the NLX Extra Mile podcast you're watching, and stay tuned for more episodes. Dan, thank you very much.
Thank you.